What it is, what it is, what it is. Vader Games in the building. We are back for another episode Thursday, October 27th. And it's 2:45, 2:47 out here in Toronto, 7 out there for you guys in the UK. I'm back with another episode. Thank you so much. Levels are good. Topics on the screen. Let me make sure I'm good over for my peoples on Twitch. Let's go. All right. Beta Games in the building. Why always me? Episode 55. Let's get into it. Comments already, my peeps. You know what it is. First things first, my peeps come first. Danny in the building. You know what it is. Franklin in the building. You know what it is. It is going to be an interesting show. 100%. I take time. I kind of think about things, and I want to do something different. You know what I mean? It's about providing something different. There's amazing content out there in the world. And for me, sometimes being later in terms of the week with regards to my content, I want to give you guys something different. So thank you for tuning in. Get comfortable. You see what's on the screen there. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the new intro. I still got to clean it up. I still have to clean up the intro. I'm my own video editor, so it's things that I'm messing around with, and I got to clean that up. I know that 100%. I'm also going to make sure that my transitions are clean today. My levels are good. Let me know if that's different in the comments. And based in Toronto, I got to keep it consistent for my Toronto peeps as well. And for those of you abroad that don't know, let me give you some imagery of what Toronto's all about. And it's the proper intro. Kick things off properly. Let's go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. That's Yonge Street. You saw the skyline from Toronto, Center Island. If you haven't gotten a chance to visit, when you do visit, you're going to love it. All right, let me make sure this is touched up here. And you guys see from the first topic, what we got going on. I just want to adjust my camera slightly. Let's clean that up. Whoop. There it is. Okay. All right. Now, you see the topics. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one, mainly because that Champions League game versus Dortmund, it was a struggle. It was a struggle, not because I don't enjoy watching my team, never that. Not because I didn't like the different 11 that Pep put out there, but it was a struggle because of how Dortmund, as an opponent, because of their approach in terms of how they were attacking us, or not attacking us, I should say. So you accept it for what it is, right? And this is something that I'm going to go into a lot more in depth, because it's a reality that we're going to have. And the tagline, if for those of you in the chat, remind me down the road, but the tagline in the future is patience. Patience is going to be key. As a Manchester City fan, because of the quality of our manager, the quality of our players, and the philosophy on how we play, we are going to need to be patient, because there's other managers out there that don't play on the front foot, that don't play to an attacking style, that would prefer, and again, nothing against it, but would prefer to counter what we do, or already accept that we attack better than them. Therefore, they're not going to make themselves vulnerable. They will not attack us. So we're going to have to be patient. And I'm going to go into a lot more depth with what that means, as being patient as fans, and being patient as players, and as the club, as they face other opponents, largely in the EPL and in the UCL. Let me go to the comments real quick. I want to recognize all of you. I'm messing around today. If I'm a little all over the place, forgive me. I've actually got 3 screens in front of me right now. We're doing things. The support, the direct support, my channel's not monetized, not even close to it. But the support that I've been getting, for those of you that have been generous and just say, yo, Vader, I like what you're doing. Keep it up. Here's what I can humbly support you with. Boom. I'm making it happen. Every penny I'm putting into this show. So thank you so much. We got Clinical in the building. Clinical, I love that name. My guy. Big Up Vader in the chat. 100. 100. That's what you got to do. Sean, what it do? Hi, nice and polite. And then we got Blake. Hi, fair play about the game, Brighton fan. Fair play. And you were in the chat before that game even kicked off. And I love the exchange we had. And again, quality team right there. Quality team. I'm curious what you think in terms of what you need to maybe add with regards to your squad to pursue and go after your goals, your targets for the season. But quality club. And I'm not just saying that. I'm similar. I'm being legit here. Quality game. So sound defensively, and they were attacking us. That second half had me. I don't know if you caught me on Martin's show, Mancunian Way, but we talked about just how sound defensively you are and the pressure you put us under. It was legit. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time, but that Dortmund game is an approach that we need to get very comfortable with. Okay, we as City fans need to get very comfortable, and the players need to get very comfortable with what we saw from Dortmund. Okay, when it comes down to the business end of the season, when it comes down to seasons hanging in the balance, all the money pushed to the middle of the table, for all the marbles, whatever the cliche sayings are, when it's that time, when it's crunch time, when it's clutch time, when it's final minutes time, best believe that most teams are going to wave the white flag and say, we can't attack like City. We can't play open football in terms of our best versus your best, mano a mano. No, many clubs are going to, like I said, wave the white flag and say, we can't compete your style of football. Every club, however, can compete by being as defensively sound as they can and force their opponent to try and be creative and break them down. That can be the approach. It is the easy, most consistent, readily adaptable from every club to choose that style. And we need to be comfortable attacking it. We need to recognize that clubs are going to be playing that way. Because again, Dortmund literally played one man up top. Okay, they played one man up top and then had 5-4. That's how they defended. 1-5-4 is what we saw. 1-5-4 is what we saw. And we're going to see variations of that moving forward. Trust me, guys, if you disagree, let me know. If you agree, if you agree, or if you have a different point, share it with me. But I think we need to be comfortable with that being the approach. And especially in this Champions League, we've seen it time and time again. We saw it from last year's winners, right? And I'm not saying that they played a 1-5-4, but we saw how Ancelotti and his approach was to be defensively sound. I'm so happy to be able to do this show at this time of day and be able to talk with you. I sent it out to a few, and those of you, I remind you, hit me up in the comments. The more we have this conversation and we build this trust, the more I'm going to actually have a call-in show and be able to interact with you voice-wise or even camera-wise if you're willing to. But I'm going to bring in a fantastic City fan who we don't always agree, but we always have a fantastic conversation because we exchange points and we move from there. Gundogan, my guy. Let's welcome him. Everyone, welcome him with a comment. He's on the panel today. Gundogan, how you doing, my guy?
Hey, buddy. How are you? Good afternoon. It's a beautiful day.
If you're talking, you're muted because I'm not hearing you, and I
I
wonder.
hear you. Hear me? I hear
it's
you.
not on my end. Viewers in the chat, let me know if you're hearing them. I'm
I
going to
hear
mess
you.
with my
I hear you.
sound settings. It's probably me. So
I hear you.
forgive. Let me go here.
I hear you nice and clear. Can you hear me now?
I should have tested this.
Hold on a second.
This happened to me before.
It happened to you before? Let me see. Yeah, everything's fine. I hear you clearly.
Yeah, Gundo, I'm not hearing you, but I'm gonna mess around with my audio.
You hear me? Yeah.
It's a classic. It's not you. It's me.
Okay.
So
I hear you. Yeah. Or you want me to? Let me sign back in.
Oh. Why? Okay, let me get a check 1 2.
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you on my external monitor, not through my headphones. Why is that?
Is it plugged in?
Yeah, that's so
I hear.
weird.
Yeah.
You know what? Let me test this out. I got it. Haha.
You there?
All right, check 1 2.
Yeah. Yep.
Good to go. Awesome.
Okay. Good.
Apologies, viewers, for that. We're good. We're clear. You hear Gundo. And if you were hearing him before, please let me know. Clinical shouting you out from the jump.
Hey,
Sub
buddy.
to your channel.
Oh,
Appreciate
thank
the
you.
love.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that. It's lovely.
And Clinical was hearing both of us. Okay, so it's definitely on my end. So apologies for that. Not sure where you came in, Gundo, but I was talking about the Dortmund, and I was reminding everyone
Yes.
in the comments about us as City fans and obviously the players
Yeah.
needing to take the approach of being patient.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of opposing managers, a lot of clubs are going to already say we can't compete. Like Klopp cowered out and said he can't compete, but in a different way. I think many managers are going to say we can't compete, and they're going to take that approach like Dortmund did just on Tuesday. You have anything different to say to that, or anything you want to add?
No, I think the Dortmund game, and I go back not just Dortmund but Copenhagen away, and people always forget. People expect that you go into the Champions League. We all complained last year that we went out to Madrid because we conceded too many goals. That defensively we were sloppy. That we conceded 3 goals at home, and then we lost 3 goals in 3 minutes or so against Madrid away. That was a complaint, right? That we weren't keeping a clean sheet. We were sloppy against Paris, 2-1. We lost the game, etc., etc. Now we go away. 2 games, we don't concede. We're going down by a man. So we're a man short away in the Champions League against a team that wants to win, playing 3 games a week, and we come out with a clean sheet. We go to Dortmund, who are with the second best team in Germany. We come out with a clean sheet, second half, and Stones and Diaz looking like the Stones and Diaz that got us to the final of the Champions League. We need to be patient. We need to understand these guys are not robots. These guys have emotions. They understood that a point was enough. Second half, they completely controlled the game. Cancelo played with a fever. He was sick. He still went out to play. Haaland had a fever too. He still went out to play. We need to give these guys some slack. Think of them as your brother or your sister going to work. Some days are good, and some days not so good, but it still got over the line. And we've qualified. We need to be patient. City fans, we need to be patient. The game this weekend is a big game for us against Leicester. We win that game, pressure's on Arsenal now to win on Sunday, and then they go to Chelsea the week after.
100%. And I was struggling a little bit because I was like, what am I gonna kind of bring to the convo this week? How am I gonna interact with those that are so kind to be a part of the channel and tuning in? And what am I gonna kind of say that's different? And my approach this week was to talk about the quote unquote city's boring, or the quote unquote our games are boring. And it just led me to then further think about the opponents. And because again, games are, it takes 2 people to fight, right? It takes a boxing match, for example, it's 2 fighters that are going to determine the style. And we often get opponents, and this is why I want to shout out Franklin. He had a great comment. He goes, I think that's why people say City games are boring, because teams don't have intention to play with the ball. They'd rather kind of be more risk adverse. So we have lots of the ball, and in a sense, it isn't exciting, but it's more because the opposition killed the game, and that can be seen as boring. Obviously, if you're a rival or if you're a neutral just watching the games, but we understand how difficult it is to kind of pick that lock, right? Like think a City. Think of City as kind of like robbers or thieves, and they're trying to break that lock that is so tightly designed. And many defenses are so compact against us.
Well, the guy who wrote the article, Jonathan Liu, about City being boring, nobody takes him seriously anyway. We know his angle. We know where he's coming from, right? He's been doing this for a long time.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even referring to that. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like
But let's think about the game that we played before the Dortmund game, right? Think about the game we played against Brighton, who had more possession at the Etihad, who probably has played the best football against City this season, undoubtedly. Right? Team had more possession than City. They were unlucky in many moments. That game wasn't boring. That game was great. And why was that game great, Vader? Why was it a great game? Because Brighton played man to man. They didn't park the bus. They were brave in possession.
Yeah,
right?
In possession for sure. And that's the difference there, right? Like you get teams that are going to be risk adverse defensively and offensively, where they're not going to really take any chances to really put City under any real pressure scoring wise. Because there's been many results where there hasn't been a shot taken from an opposition against us, or a shot on target, or we've dominated possession, and that's really the opposing team not going out to try and get the ball back, or not going out to actually attack us. But and there was a Dortmund fan in the chat. Sorry, Dortmund. There was a Brighton fan in the chat earlier saying that fair play, we won the match, and I was just complimenting him in terms of how the fight was, because they were defensively sound, but they were also putting us on tremendous pressure. That second half was some very attacking football, and had us wondering, where was this going to go score wise, and it resulted in them actually getting that goal with the pressure they were applying. But I want to say this, and I hope you guys hear me loud and clear. Let's all continue to be patient. Let's also recognize that the players on the pitch, the 11 that we have, they're going to have to be patient in themselves, trusting in what Pep's instructing them to do, and also be patient to know that they need to continue to attack, continue to put the defense under pressure. And it may not result in the high-scoring games that we've seen early in the season, because teams are going to decide, we don't want to get embarrassed from City. We don't want Haaland to go on a crazy scoring streak, or we don't want Foden to catch fire again, or even have KDB fire tremendously. So that's going to be a tendency that we need to accept, and we just need to chill. That's what I want to say, chill.
But even if you look at it forensically, right? Let's take each of the two quote-unquote boring games, okay? So none of the Premier League games have been boring. Let's be clear. Not the Brighton, not the Liverpool, not the Forest. No, they haven't been boring. They've been actually quite good. The two games that people are referring to as boring are the two games in the Champions League after as match day 4 and match day 5. Now, we won 3 games, match day 1, 2, 3, which means that we're probably already qualified. We go away to Copenhagen, right?
Yeah.
We're down a man. Would you expect us to come out guns blazing? No, we control the game. Keep it.
Yeah, we were still attacking even though we were down, man down. Yeah,
exactly.
But,
so we got a point. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, the amazing thing, and if you're tuned into the show for the first time, my peeps, hit that like button. The like button's tremendous. Drop a comment, which you are doing. I love the exchange that we're having. And share it. Share it within your group chat. Share it amongst your friends, football fans, City fans, rivals, neutrals, doesn't matter. What's so amazing, but it's challenging as well. And that's why I try, and this is completely unprompted, right? I threw this out to my friends and said, if you're free, please join. Gundogan was so kind enough to jump in. But Gundogan is a next level thinker. Okay. So when I have shows like these and I kind of line out my topics, what's challenging is my man's already thinking next level and gets to the points before I'm trying to have the show flow, but he gets to the points beforehand. And it's no fault to him. It's no fault to him. It's an amazing quality. But this is, and I'm gonna bring Martin in. I just see him in the studio back there.
There we go.
But I want to bring up this point is because of the Champions League format, and because there's a point tally, like mathematically, and Akanji would figure that out in an instant. But because mathematically you can already determine here's what's required to win, then teams can manage how they play throughout these group stages. And that can also be a reason for these quote unquote boring results. And the fact that we've been so dominant in these early games, and now we've gone to the point where we're top of our group. This last game is truly meaningless in terms of what does it set up for the upcoming knockout stages. But that is an aspect of the Champions League that we cannot get away from. And I'm going to bring Martin in. And Martin, I'm not sure if you heard the early commentary, but thanks for coming in. Make sure to like as well, subscribe to his channel, Mancunian Way, just like you did to Pitch Points and Gundogan, my people.
Yeah, good evening. Listen, I can't stay long, but it was when I heard you and Carl talking about this. It's an interesting one. It is, and this is why. And listen, I have a love-hate relationship with this whole competition, and you know what? I love the fact that, from a selfish point of view, from a Manchester City fan point of view, I love the fact that match day 5 and 6 we can relax, get fringe players in. You know, I mean, the funny thing is, I said this to you, Vader, and Carl, you'll understand what I mean by this. Next Wednesday, people go, yeah, it's a nothing game though. But I'm excited to see Palmer, Rico Lewis, some of these players hopefully be given a chance next week. Not in a pre-season friendly, but against a proper team, in a proper atmosphere, in a proper competition.
Yeah.
That's where I'm excited.
Yeah.
If I'm talking, where I fall down, Vader and Carl, is when I get told by people this is the most prestigious competition then. Because a prestigious competition, it's like if you're a Tottenham fan right now, you're loving it because there's something to go for come match day 6. But
yeah, I don't know if they're loving it though. I know that they have to. There's still emphasis and importance on this game.
But they're still got that excitement.
Yeah. But I'm sure they would rather prefer.
Oh, of course they would. But I just think. I think it's when I get told it's the most prestige. To me, it doesn't become the Champions League till the last 16, the last 8. I was having a look earlier on some of the matches we could get in the last 16.
Oh no. Okay, as long as
but what I'm saying is that's when it becomes I know you've got that coming up. That's when it becomes the Champions League then.
Yes, I agree. From week 1 to now week 6, we can't say that Champions League lives up to the branding and the hype of what it is. I agree. It's kind of like in waves. It has its ups and downs. And I think
it's a double-edged sword, though.
Yeah, we would agree that the knockout stages is where, home and away, these matches matter. And not only that, it's later into the season. So how you manage your league play and your Champions League play, that's where it does get its importance and recognition. I agree. I know again, Mancunian Way has a show at 12:30. So thanks for jumping in. Those of you, please, Mancunian Way, make sure to subscribe, and Pitch Points do the same thing. We've got a few comments a few topics I'd like to run through as well. And let me just point this out, because Martin almost, again, like Gundogan, Martin thinking ahead was almost going to bring up this topic, and I'm going to bring this on screen, but let me also do this for a nice Vader games. The next possible opponents, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I would love to go in depth on Pitch Points with Gundogan, True City fan, and anyone else that might be able to join the panel. But because City is top of the group, right, and how I understand it, all the teams that are top of the group then play against the second place teams of the other groups. And there's also the restriction that we cannot play against the first knockout stage. We can't play against a team that's in our same league. So,
and in our same group.
And teams that were in our group.
Yes.
So
I haven't got about 3 clubs so far, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a short list.
There's a big choice.
Yeah, there's not many options, and I'm not going to do the homework for you in the chat. If you guys want to do that and put that in the comment for sure, I think that's going to be a great conversation on with Pinch Points down the road. But let's point out some of our rivals, and I think the only rival we got Chelsea. I think it looks like they're going to be top of their group. Liverpool, however, look to be second in their group as it stands right now. They may have a very, very challenging next opponent in these Champions League. Unless
they're lucky and they get someone from Tottenham's group. Well, if Tottenham come first, then it's irrelevant, right? Then
That's true. That's true. Daniel, big up. He says, smash that like button. Please hit that like button. Let's get the likes up. You know how important it is. It is absolutely free. It means the world to me. Didn't mean to rhyme, but I did it this time. Daniel, thank you so much. Now, like I said, I wasn't gonna spend much time on the next opponents, but we're gonna look into that. We're definitely gonna look into that. I wanted to point this out. As a City fan, you guys know we're getting healthy again. We're getting some bodies back. If you're not following Manchester City's Twitter handle, it's Man City, but definitely follow them. I'm seeing training from Phillips. I'm happy for that. I think the only body that's not available right now is Walker. That's the only body that's not available. I'm not sure when his turnaround is. I'm assuming it's after the World Cup. But that's exciting news, City fans. Us getting healthy, having players play in their true natural position is going to be fantastic. Having players to actually give recovery for a man like Rodri, who is so important to us, but needs to get his rest. And Pep has been, doing his magic, moving players into that position later in the game to kind of give them a chance. But love that everyone's coming back healthy. Who are you most excited to see back, Gunalorian?
who's sorry?
Who from a healthy body returning to the club are you excited to see back?
Calvin Phillips certainly.
Yeah.
I don't know where Stones was back, and Stones looked like $1 million on Tuesday.
Yes.
I mean, he looked like $1 million on Tuesday. He reminded me of the Stones that got us to the final of the UCL 2 years ago.
He's so
important. He and
He's
Diaz
so
have this chemistry that's just too clean, too neat, too sweet, too balanced, too focused.
Yeah. You know what it is with Stones too, and maybe it's because of his maybe it's because of his last name, his surname. But he has some Stones about him, right? He's like ultimate confident when he's on that ball.
The funny thing about him is that I don't know if he becomes the Super Stones that we see when he plays. We don't see that Super Stones when he plays with Laporte or Akanji. We see the Super Stones when he plays with Ruben Diaz. There's something about their chemistry and their understanding that just gels. When they're back there, they're smooth, they're quick, they're aggressive, they talk, they communicate, they lead.
Clinical Phillips is back training. He wasn't training with the club. He was training on his own, but he's back. And
I'm happy to see Calvin Phillips back. I'm hoping Kyle can come back. Well, I don't know if for England, let's see.
I don't want him back. I don't want him back for England. I don't.
Yeah, let him rest out. But for his own career,
selfishly, sorry, Martin, if you're still here. Selfishly,
I'm still here. I don't want Calvin Phillips fully fit yet, because that means he goes to the World Cup. And from a selfish point of view, I want him away from the World Cup.
That's so wrong, totally honest. Right? Like, I'm an international fan. I'm cheering for Canada. All right, when World Cup happens. All right,
you'll have a great team. Canada has a great team, man.
We do.
Listen, Martin.
That needs to be a show. That needs to be a show.
Martin, let me tell you this, right? Canada are underrated, man. I'm telling you. I've watched Canada. Jeez, man. Those boys are like Usain Bolt in 11 places. They're quick, man.
Hey, don't worry, Cal, because you'll be seeing something when we give your boys a spanking in a few weeks. See, it's already started. I'm only joking.
I think this is going to happen. No, we're going to do a show, and this is fantastic. We're going to do a show. Canadian perspective, American perspective.
Yeah, but I can't win that one. I've got Gareth Southgate as a manager. I'm not going to win that one.
Doesn't matter. You're going to talk with Chess, and we're going to carry on.
Hey, can I just say one thing later on Cal's point? You know why John Stones is the guy for us? Because he's the only centre-back who can actually bring the ball out properly. If you look at our whole back line, yes, they are some fantastic world-class defenders, but John Stones is the ideal Pep defender in terms of he can bring the ball out. I mean, we always say about Edison and the way Edison can bring that ball out of play. John Stones is the exact. He can transition from defence to midfield so easily, and he's so comfortable passing the ball and with the ball, and that's why you can play him as a right back. You can play him even. That's why Pep's experimented with him as the CDM.
Correct.
Because he can do that thing.
You're right. But I gotta shut you down, Martin, because my last point when I'm talking about Stones, Akanji, Cancelo, Laporte, Ake, was all about the versatility and where they can play. So I'm not going to have you steal my thunder with regards to that. But you're absolutely right. I would also throw in. I mean, Laporte has similar, like there's similar qualities between him and Laporte, and I find it interesting because I think they're so similar that's why I think Diaz is a good combo with Laporte, and Diaz is a good combo with Stones, because one can be the disruptor and one can be the trusted ball handler. And I love that the healthy bodies are coming back 100%. Clinical, thanks for the comments. And we're going to get into this is a tough one, guys. This is a tough one. Let me do this
Anyway,
properly.
Vader, I'm going to shoot, as you know. I just want to say to everyone, give Vader a like, hit that subscribe, go over to Pitch Points, give him a like, a subscribe. The same with True. Everyone, go and give all the City channels a like, a subscribe, and show them a lot of love, because they do fantastic content for you all. And much love. And I'll see you soon, mate.
Take care,
Less
Martin.
than 15. I'll see you over there. So tough. Let me.
Vader games.
So we got to talk about. Unfortunately, we got to talk about two misses that have happened in close proximity of each other with Riyad Mahrez and the PKs. And the one thing, and I'm not killing Mahrez. I'm not going to be killing Mahrez. I don't. Gundogan won't be doing the same. But we do provide criticism, and we do have to provide this one point. Looking at what he did with his last PK in that Dortmund game, and we understand the ramifications. Had he scored, could have resulted in a win. However, when I rewatched, and I actually watching it the first time and getting it from different camera angles, we saw the actual strike that Mahrez applied to that ball to try and score that PK, and it was just slightly off center. It was slightly off center. I don't know if he thought he would have made the keeper dive or guess incorrectly and be out of that space, but he kicked it in a spot where the keeper could make a save, and that's an example to me. I don't know if Gundogan agrees, but that's an example of me of a player that isn't at his most confident and is lacking confidence. And seeing that PK, knowing where we've seen Mahrez put that top bins, bottom bins away, keeper would have had to been outreach, fingertip saves. He did not do that with that shot. And I think Mahrez is lacking that confidence. I don't think he has the confidence right now. He needs to get it back. I don't think it'll elude him or not come back to him. But right now he doesn't have it. And I'm curious, Gundogan, what you think might be the remedy for him. How do you think Pep might go about having him gain that confidence again?
Yeah, with Mahrez, I think the remedy for him is to take him off the scene. Right? Take him off the scene, let him cool off, let him get his head right. Because taking penalty many times is about your headspace. Right? Where's your mind at? Where's your head at? Are you confident? Do you believe you're going to score that penalty? What's your body shape like? How'd you walk up? What have you done in the past? I mean, to lose 2 penalties in back-to-back Champions League games away, that could have been a heavy cost for us. Imagine if we needed the game. Imagine if we needed the game. And in the Copenhagen game, right after that penalty loss, we got, the red card. And now we're down to 10. So he's done well for us in the past, right? Because he wasn't in a good mood. Just needs to sort his head out. There's something not right with that. Maybe it's because under pressure, right? When there's pressure, he doesn't seem to get the penalty. Maybe it is. Liverpool away a couple of years ago, West Ham last season, Copenhagen away this season, and then Dortmund away this season again. All the games are all away. All away. Right? Those 4 misses or 5 are all away.
Yeah.
So it's a hard one. Take him off penalties. Gundogan, take the penalty. De Bruyne, take the penalty. Bernardo, take it. Somebody else take it.
Yeah, the challenge with this instance was, KDB was obviously on the bench for it, but I agree. And Holland was actually subbed off at that time, if I'm remembering correctly. So he wasn't there to take it. But I would agree with you. I think definitely take him off penalties. He's obviously going to remain in the rotation, whether he's going to start or be subbed on. But he needs to find that form back, find that confidence back, and I have no doubt that he will. But I agree with you. He shouldn't be put in a pressure situation, whether they're group stage games or league games to have to take the PKs. I 100% agree with you. But that'll lead me to this. I'd like to hear your 5, because we need to certify our PK takers. So again, as we talked about earlier, teams are going to maybe be very, very defensive, risk adverse, maybe make choices like some managers that do Terrace football and they want to take the game to PKs, right? They'll do whatever they can just to take it to PKs. What would be your 5? Let's certify our 5 penalty takers that you would list out for Manchester City.
So for me, it depends on is it a penalty kicked to win like the final of a tournament, or is it like a league game?
Yeah, I'm going to say not in any particular order, but let's say the game now goes down to PKs.
Yeah.
Who's your 5 that you're going to say these are my 5 to take?
I'll take my 5. Number 1, Erling Haaland.
Okay.
Number 2 would be Edison.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Eddie, he's the best penalty taker. Number 3, Ilkay Gundogan. Number 4, I'll do De Bruyne. And number 5, I'll probably do Julian Alvarez. Those are the 5. Yeah.
Okay. So to win the game, and obviously for it to be sent to PKs, that means it's a cup, right? It's to win a cup.
Yep.
That's your 5. Viewers, if you're watching this live, if you're watching it on video on demand, let me know your 5. Okay, let me know your 5. If you're following me on Twitter, let me know on Twitter as well. It's something that I'd like to go back to and have the conversation again, but I want to pose the question to you. What are your 5 penalty takers? And I will share my 5 next week as well. All right. I always have to point this out. I'm gonna remind you because I'm like, unlike this day and age where news cycles are only 24 hours and we move on to the next. Now I'm gonna continue to remind you. You guys continue to remind your rivals. City earned UEFA Best Club Award. All right, Best Club Award. That's us. Remember that. Tell the rivals about that. Let's not let that be old news already. It's an important accomplishment, important recognition for as much scrutiny and how often we are put under the magnifying glass, microscope. To get that award means a tremendous amount to us as a club and recognition that we deserve. Last 2 points. I'm based out here in Toronto. Okay. This is not a woe is me. This is not feel bad for me or anything like that. But I just want to remind you, as a Toronto City fan, and it's very similar for Carl, he's based in the US. We're on the same coastline. This game against Leicester City is going to be 7:30 a.m. this weekend. 7:30 a.m. You guys get to enjoy your games.
7:30 a.m. We're up at 6:30.
Yeah, we're up at 6:30 because that's when we have to have the convo. That's when the team list is out, and we gotta think like Pep or wonder what Pep's gonna be doing. We're up that early, so I just want to put that out there. Recognition. Watching this at another time, in the comments, let me know when you're watching your game, and also let me know how you're watching your game. Do you go to the pub? Do you watch from home? Do you attend games? Please let me know. I will be in the comfort of my home, my man cave, my modest man cave. I'll be watching it there. Unless we're losing, then I will move to another location because that's how I help City win games. But I will be watching in the man cave to start 7:30. Now, I told you, next level thinking from Carl Gundogan, next level thinking from Martin Mancunian Way. But they were about to get into the fact that our center backs have tremendous versatility. Okay, they're so adaptable, and they're asked to do so much from Pep. They're asked to do so much from Pep. Stones has been asked to play center back and right back on many occasions in the biggest matches. How do I block? Oh, there we go. How do I block? There we go. Stones has been asked to be center back, right back. Akanji has asked to be center back, right back, and center back left center back, right center back. We've had the same ask for Cancelo playing from right back to left back. Laporte has played left center back to left back. Ake's been all over the pitch, playing center back, left back, and Gomez. We've seen him play left back as well as defensive mid. So, and Stones has played defensive mid as well. It's an amazing quality that our center backs have. It's an ask that I hope we don't have to go to with our healthy bodies back, as I talked about earlier in the show. So when we get Stones back, when Gomez and his trust levels is there, I am going to be so excited to see our left backs play in their position, see our right backs and left backs play in their position, and then get a chance to see, quote unquote, our best 11. I'm going to ask you guys in the comments. You're watching this live or you're watching it on the replay, video on demand. What's your best 11? Everybody healthy. Tell me what's your best 11. There's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer, but it is, right? It is, because it's obviously situational.
It depends on your opposition. It depends on your opposition. Right?
Exactly. So, and I'm not gonna ask for a forced answer now because I know the variations and the options can be tremendous. But Carl, I want to go back to what you're saying with regards to our center backs and their versatility.
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now? Do you want to see them have to show that versatility and go out like we've seen Akanji and Stones play right back, or do you want to kind of have them get back to their quote unquote true positions?
The only challenge is who do you drop, right? Everybody's played well. All the center backs have played well when they're fit. So how do you make a judgment as to who you drop? It's almost as good to have these four rotate across the back line and rotate them for game time because of the schedule itself when they're all operating at 7/10, 8/10, right? Rather than have two guys who are 9/10 and the rest are rested on the bench and they have to come in if somebody gets injured and they have to build up their whole fitness again.
Right.
So I kind of like what he's doing, that rotation, just to keep them at least at level, at they're purring along, if you would, cruising along with fitness, with game understanding. They're rotating them so they all get rhythm in the game. So when we need them, they're available.
I agree.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one. That's why it's hard to say, is it Laporte? Look at Ake. Look at Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake has been magnificent this season. He's grown so much, right? How do you drop him for Laporte?
Yeah, he's been tremendous.
It's tough. It's a tough one.
I agree. And viewers, I want to thank you for tuning in first and foremost. I want to thank my guests, Gundogan jumping in. It was like real last minute. I know, and I appreciate it. I'm gonna shout you out. Continue to talk. I know you have to go, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Gundogan, Pitch Points, fantastic channel. I appreciate him jumping in on the show. Same goes for Martin Mancunian. And this, I wanted to make it as short as possible. Not as short as possible, but as concise as possible so that we can have the convo. And again, these points, we can get back into it. You're watching the show, Vader. Hey, you know what you talked about last week? Let's go into that a little more. Let me know that. All right. And also, let me know what you believe to be City's best 11. Let me know what you believe to be or what you want to be the 5 penalty takers to win a cup. Who are you going to be trusting to do that? And we're going to be back with another show, maybe a bonus show this week, maybe a bonus show tonight, maybe. But show me the likes on this video. Please subscribe if you're new. I'm Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV. Another episode of Why Always Me. And you know why always me. That moment, iconic. I'm out. Catch me next time. I will be on another show, Mancunian Way, shortly. Love.